Busy summer for you, but you had some time off in July. What specifically did you do in July?
I went home, went to Louisiana, visit family for a couple weeks, did some cooking, and then we ended at the Bahamas. We went to the Bahamas for a week before we came back. So
sounds like a great break.
Yes, ma'am.
Going into the fall camp, what tone are you looking to set for the defense?
Just looking to build off of what we did in the spring. We have some new guys that we've added in, of course, but the guys are second round in the defense. We got guys that played last year, so really excited about the retention that they have of this defense and want to make big strides.
It's obviously big shoes to fill with Cam Kitchens and James Williams. Mish can obviously play in slotted corner. Do you want him primarily at safety, knowing he's going to be playing alongside someone without a ton of experience at safety?
Yeah, he'll play safety. He'll play free safety for us, play a little bit of nickel. We'll kind of do nickel by committee. We'll play some guys at corner that'll play the nickel as well. But yeah, it's important that he's back there. He can make a lot of checks. Of course, he's got a lot of games underneath his belt and a lot of meaningful games, of course. So looking forward to it, and we've got to continue to grow that other safety position. But we have some guys that did really well this spring, learn some things, and just see what they can do with it as well.
Simeon Barrow mentioned that you want the young defense line to be playing what he called bully ball.
Yeah.
How would you describe what bully ball is, and how would you describe just what you have on that defense line, specifically the interior where you're replacing some key pieces?
We want to play on the other side of the line of scrimmage, so we're attacking defense, and I think we'll be able to do it with our front four. Last year at the same meeting, people was concerned about would we be able to stop the run. It's a lot of competition at the D-line right now, so the only way to get better is to compete against each other, and we got a really good offensive line to go up against, so I think the strength of our team is in the interior with the defensive line and offensive line, so we'll be able to play more numbers there, but going into game one, we really don't know who those four guys are, but who's competing against each other for those spots.
What's the comfort level you have at corner beyond Darryl Porter and Damari Brown? Corner.
Chevis there. He's a Gainesville kid, so he's a Florida kid. And of course, Porter has some experience. And you have some freshmen coming in who I'm really excited about. So we'll see. We have to develop to where we got 5 corners at least to feel good, but you definitely got to have 4. So I think we're in a better spot this year than we were last year. I think safety position is where our low number count is, and you're a little thin. So we need to stay healthy.
And as far as the veteran corners, I know Deani told us he played mostly boundary. Obviously, Marshall, your time intersected there. Nickel right now, you'd be looking at who? Deus, Brown, who?
Brown. Well, Brown, Porter, and Richard will be the starters when we go nickel, and Brown will probably start at the nickel right now. Third down, Porter will probably play some nickel. You also have Mish that can play nickel, and of course you have Richard can as well. So we have 4 guys we can rotate in there. Last year, we had TC and we had Davis, and that was kind of the only 2 guys. So I feel like we have more depth there, but it's pulling from other positions. So we did a good job in the offseason and summer of developing that and learning, teaching the guys multiple positions.
Which of the incoming freshman DBs do you think is physically most ready to play besides Patterson? I know he was here this spring.
Yeah.
Is there any other guys that physically you think speed, body size, all that they've got it to make it an impact?
We hadn't been able to work with them that much and that many live reps, but Federic looks real good, OJ. He's making some plays on some balls against older receivers, but you won't know until you present the whole playbook to them and see what they catch on to and then see them against the really good receivers. So, I don't know. I'm optimistic, though.
Are there any second-year guys within your system that have kind of taken a jump from last year to this year that might surprise some people?
I think at the linebacker position, Popo has made some big strides through the spring. Some of the defensive linemen, of course, Bain's one. Bain was forced to play a lot last year, as a freshman. And because he played a lot, he got better because we didn't know he could have that kind of a freshman presence. Play against Clemson, he was kind of throwing some of them guys around, and we just didn't see it up to that point. So by him playing, getting experience, there's nothing like game experience, So yeah, sometimes that works, and sometimes it spooks people. So we'll see. We want to play on the other side of the line of scrimmage, so we're attacking defense, and I think we'll be able to do it with our front 4. Last year at the same meeting, people was concerned about would we be able to stop the run because we didn't have a lot of depth at D-line. But we did a pretty good job last year. I think this year we have bigger guys. We have guys that are athletic, and we have experience. We got some guys hadn't been with us, but where they're coming from, they have a lot of games underneath their belt, and that always makes the defense coordinator feel good.
Coach, can you talk about Barrow, Barrett, the guys that you picked up after the spring window, specifically how you envision using them and what their strengths are?
They'll be in the rotation. You know, it's a lot of competition at the D-line right now. So the only way to get better is to compete against each other. And we got a really good offensive line to go up against. So I think the strength of our team is in the interior.